Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. The time is 12:10 p.m. Brisbane time on the 8th of May 2025. It's a glorious sunny day outside, a veritable gift from the gods, and I'm moving through life as I do, one day at a time, one breath at a time, and holding my own on planet Earth as I do, quite astonishingly. I wrote some intense writings on Facebook this morning. She just published it about 40 minutes ago. It took me an hour and a half to write. So I'm feeling a bit wrung out, but it's important to speak the truth, and I wrote about the COVID epoch and how it's affected us as a species and how it's changed people, altered them, and including myself, because I gathered in the spike protein when I caught COVID in 2023, and no doubt even before that, with all the shedding from all my beautiful friends and remnant family around me that had been COVID vaxxed. So, as I wrote, no one on planet Earth has been unaltered, and it's a chilling and terrifying thought. Not just a thought, but an existence, actually, watching the changes in people all around me, and people I thought were lovely turning into monsters. It's something directly out of a fucking horror movie, but there's nothing I can do. I just have to somehow move through it and survive it like everyone else on planet Earth has to do. On a happy note, I'm being given two lovely little birdies, which I will pick up on Tuesday. One's an Indian ringneck named Kermie, and one's a little cockatiel named Bo, which is a bit unusual given my dog Beauregard was called Bo for short, or Bobo. So you see, love finds its way back to me in quite astonishing ways. As I wrote, the Lord gives, the Lord takes away, the Lord gives again, and it's a bit astonishing. Of course, I had high hopes to have the love of a human man, be sincere for once in my goddamn natural life, but it wasn't to be. So I'm gifted birdies. It's lovely, isn't it? I'll be happy with that. It'll bring joy and life into the house, and whistling and twitterings, and a bit more work having to clean cages again. 2 cages because 2 birds. They're both boy birds, so they won't be laying eggs, which was what killed our Charlie. But anyway, it'll take some weeks or months for them to get used to me and me to get used to them. I hope they don't bite me too much in the next few weeks, but we'll get used to each other and we'll be great friends, and maybe I'll even be able to train them to sit out in the garden with me eventually. Their current owner said she's going to clip one wing, but I think for the first few months they'll still be quite a flight risk, because they can still get enough height even with a clipped wing. So I probably won't be able to take them outside like I used to do with Charlie, who couldn't fly, and probably won't be able to walk around the neighbourhood with them like I used to do with Charlie too. But you never know. They might surprise me. They might be quite happy to free range with me like Charlie used to do. It's just a matter of their little personalities and what they want to do in their own little body autonomy. Yes, even birds have body autonomy, people of Earth. Astonishing, isn't it? They have great spirits too. Birds love you even more, I think, than other humans and cats and dogs. When they really fall in love with you, they fall deeply and eternally in love. I want to cry when I think about it. Anyway, like I said, it's a beautiful day, and we'll carry on with reading W.B. Yeats, and these next poems are from his Michael Robartes and the Dancer book of poetry. Michael Robartes and the Dancer. He. Opinion is not worth a rush in this altar-piece, the knight who grips his long spear so to push that dragon through the fading light. Loved the lady, and it's plain the half-dead dragon was her thought, that every morning rose again and dug its claws and shrieked and fought. Could the impossible come to pass? She would have time to turn her eyes, her lover thought, upon the glass, and on the instant would grow wise. She. You mean they argued? He. Put it so, but bear in mind your lover's wage is what your looking glass can show, and that he will turn green with rage at all that is not pictured there. She. May I not put myself to college? He. Go pluck Athene by the hair, for what mere book can grant a knowledge with an impassioned gravity appropriate to that beating breast, that vigorous thigh, that dreaming eye? And may the devil take the rest. She. But must no beautiful woman be learned like a man? He. Paul Veronese and all his sacred company imagined bodies all their days by the lagoon you love so much, for proud, soft, ceremonious proof that all must come to sight and touch, while Michelangelo's Sistine roof his morning and his night disclose, how sinew that has been pulled tight, or it may be loosened in repose, can rule by supernatural right, yet be but sinew. She. I have heard said there is great danger in the body. Talk about fucking synchronicity, given what I just wrote about this morning. A little bit triggered, just don't mind me. Just gotta move through it, babies. Move through it like I've moved everything else in life. And our beginnings are our endings, am I right? Bear in mind, I would have read these poems when I was 17. She. My wretched dragon is perplexed. Well, he was never mine. Just saying. He. I have principles to prove me right. It follows from this Latin text that blessed souls are not composite, and that all beautiful women may live in uncomposite blessedness and lead us to the like, if they will banish every thought, unless the lineaments that please their view, when the long looking glass is full, even from the foot sole think it too. She, they say such different things at school. Solomon and the witch. And thus declared that Arab lady, last night, where under the wild moon, on grassy mattress, I had laid me, within my arms, great Solomon, I suddenly cried out in a strange tongue, not his, not mine. Who understood whatever has been said, sighed, sung, howled, meowed, barked, brayed, belled, yelled, cried, crowed? Thereon replied, a cockerel crew from a blossoming apple bough 300 years before the fall, and never crew again till now, and would not now, but that he thought, chance being at one with choice at last, all that the brigand apple brought, and this foul world were dead at last. By the gods, it's prescient, is it not? He that crowed out eternity thought to have crowed it in again. For though life has a spider's eye to find out some appropriate pain, aye, though all passions in the glance, for every nerve and tests a lover with cruelties of choice and chance, and when at last that murder's over, maybe the bride bed brings despair. For each an imagined image brings, and finds a real image there. Yet the world ends when these two things, though several are, a single light, when oil and wick are burned in one. Therefore a blessed moon last night gave Sheba to her Solomon. I'm smiling. I had an Ethiopian lover once upon a time. Another liar and a bastard. But anyway, he was beautiful. Let's be fair here. He was probably one of the most handsome men I ever drew into my life, love, passion. And of course, like many lovers that I actually had, a sexual love affair with, however brief, he was insane. Of course, same old, never changes. Same old hell Luke. But he was a beautiful bastard. He really was. The most beautiful of them all. Maybe it comes with being too beautiful when you're a man. Vanity, vanity, all is vanity, after all. Anyway, he used to say that because he came from Ethiopia, that he was like, it's a bit odd. I mean, I have to laugh about it now. that he was like Sheba and I was like Solomon, which is, gender role reversal. But it kind of made me giggle because I'm used to gender role reversals because when I was married, my husband was piss weak and sadistic, and I had to be the man all the time, keep the family together and run the household and the business and drive my children to and from school all the time with this dead weight in my bed beside me, vicious to everyone behind my back and to my face, viciously betraying me with everyone that would listen to him, vile and piss weak and inadequate that he was. So ultimately that marriage ended. And when my wonderful Rabbi Cohen came to kasher my kitchen in 1994 when I was doing the Orthodox Jewish candidacy, so I had to have a kosher kitchen. In fact, I wanted a kosher kitchen. I insisted upon it. My husband threw all sorts of tantrums and acted like the woman in the household. You can't have that pot, Rabbi. I have to keep that pot. No, Mr. Aarons, it's not kosher. I have to throw it out. And he was fighting with the pot like a housebrow. And I would go in all manly. It's enough out of you. Do as you're told. The rabbi is in charge of this process. Okay. I had to be the man of the house at all times. It's why I'm still single, people of earth. A woman gets very tired of having to be the man all the time and then having to fuck them as well and be at their fucking mercy and have them turn savage on you for what? What reason? That deep down they know that they're weak and inept and that I've survived them all. So let us continue with the poem. Alone, holding on to my sanity and my body autonomy, as I've done all my life since I was 6 years old. That's why I get a little bit enraged when motherfuckers try to destroy me or kill me. And I'm entitled to feel that way after what I was put through. Yet the world stays. Solomon the wise. Well, I'm no King Solomon, and I'm not all that wise, because if I were, I wouldn't keep choosing dead ducks, would I? By the gods. Yet the world stays. If that be so, your cockerel found us in the wrong, although he thought it worth a crow. Maybe an image is too strong, or maybe is not strong enough. The night has fallen, not a sound in the forbidden sacred grove, unless a petal hit the ground, nor any human sight within it. But the crushed grass where we have lain, and the moon is wilder every minute. O Solomon, let us try again. How many wives and concubines did he have to try again? I think there was 600 in total. Busy boy, our Solomon. Thank God I'm not actually Solomon. Whew, I'd be quite worn out. But the thing about successful people is they're often quite virile, and sex addicts comes with that somehow. I'm not sure why. That's why I'm a failure and a loser, am I right? With my asexual celibacy and my refusal to be raped and sullied and debased by any man. So I'm successful in my failure. Like Quentin Crisp says, if you keep failing, then, my darlings, failure is your style. Under Saturn. Do not, because this day I have grown saturnine, imagine that lost love inseparable from my thought, because I have no other youth can make me pine. For how should I forget the wisdom that you brought, the comfort that you made? Although my wits have gone on a fantastic ride, my horse's flanks are spurred by childish memories of an old cross Pollux fen, and of a Middleton whose name you never heard, and of a red-haired Yeats whose looks, although he died before my time, seem like a vivid memory. My great-grandfather Thomas Phillips was a red-haired Irishman that danced the Irish jig and actually did performances too. Yes, show business is in our blood, so we tend to be a little bit dramatic at times. But, like all Phillipses, beneath that cosplay of theatrics, we're as real can be. So don't fuck with us, motherfuckers. You heard that labouring man who had served my people. He said, upon the open road, near to the Sligo quay. No, not said, but cried it out. You have come again. And surely after 20 years it was time to come. I'm thinking of a child's vow, sworn in vain, never to leave the valley his fathers called their home. November 1919. My forebears came from Dublin. I should go there one day, see the ancestral grounds. I don't know exactly where they lived, or I'd look at their ancestral home and lands, if they still exist. My daughter went to Ireland. She hated it. She was miserable there. Said it was terrible. But she went back a second time before she returned to Australia, and she had a much better time. She had a little bit more money, and she was able to fulfill my dream that I insisted she fulfill, because I may never get there, people of Earth, robbed by fate and ill omens and evil men. So I begged her, go to Newgrange and go see the Giant's Causeway and go to the Hill of Tara, see the ancient ones, feel the ley lines, feel the history, feel the earth beneath your feet, be on those sacred spaces that your mother will potentially never see. I could be wrong though. Miracles could happen. Every day's a miracle, people of Earth. Oh, small Australia. But she did go, and she had a better time of it, and I can't help thinking it's because she got to see the ancient ones, their land and their energies. Kiss the Blarney Stone as well. I'm glad she had those experiences. I'm not glad that she got involved with a dead shit shroomer and did too many shrooms and that altered the personality. I'm not glad of that though. But some things come down to destiny, and it is what it is, people of Earth. If Mama T goes to Ireland or England, she won't be doing any mushrooms, trust me on that one. I've enough trouble dealing with my psychedelic dreaming that I do naturally without needing fucking drugs to distort my mind, body and spirit alignment. Stay in alignment for as long as you can, people of Earth. It's a gift given to those who know, who walk with their gods, who stay in their own mind, body and spirit, no matter what, no matter who gets chucked at them like vomitous, demonic curs. Mama T has spoken. Easter 1960. 107 years ago. Oh no, 64. 109 years ago. I have met them at close of day, coming with vivid faces, from counter or desk among grey 18th century houses. I have passed with a nod of the head or polite meaningless words, or have lingered a while and said polite meaningless words, and thought before I had done of a mocking tale or a jibe, to please a companion around the fire at the club, being certain that they and I but lived where motley is worn. All changed utterly, a terrible beauty is born. That woman's days were spent in ignorant goodwill, her nights in argument, until her voice grew shrill. What voice more sweet than hers, when young and beautiful she rode to harriers? This man had kept a school and rode our winged horse. This other, his helper and friend, was coming into his force. He might have won fame in the end, so sensitive his nature seemed, so daring and sweet his thought. This other man I had dreamed a drunken and a vainglorious lout. He had done most bitter wrong to some who are near my heart, yet I number him in the song. He too has resigned his part in the casual comedy. He too has been changed in his turn, transformed utterly. A terrible beauty is born. Hearts with one purpose alone through summer and winter seem enchanted to a stone to trouble the living stream. The horse that comes from the road, the rider, the birds that range from cloud to tumbling cloud, minute by minute they change. A shadow of cloud on the stream changes minute by minute. A horse hoof slides on the brim, and a horse plashes within it. The long-legged moorhens dive, and hens to moorcocks call. Minute by minute they live, the stones in the midst of all. Too long a sacrifice can make a stone of the heart, but when may it suffice? That is heaven's part. Our part to murmur name upon name, as a mother names her child, when sleep at last has come on limbs that had run wild? What is it but nightfall? No, no, not night, but death. Was it needless death, after all? For England may keep faith, for all that is done and said. We know their dream enough to know they dreamed and are dead. And what if excess of love bewildered them till they died? I write it out in a verse, MacDonagh and MacBride, and Connolly and Pearce, now and in time to be, wherever green is worn, are changed, changed utterly. A terrible beauty is born. September 25th, 1916. On a political prisoner. She that but little patience knew from childhood on had now so much. A grey gull lost its fare and flew down to her cell, and there alit, and there endured her fingers' touch, and from her fingers ate its bit. Did she in touching that lone wing recall the years before her mind became a bitter and abstract thing? Her thought some popular enmity, blind and leader of the blind, drinking the foul ditch where they lie. When long ago I saw her ride under Ben Bulben to the meet, the beauty of her countryside, with all youth's lonely wildness stirred, she seemed to have grown clean and sweet, like any rock-bred, sea-born bird. Sea-born or balanced on the air, when first it sprang out of the nest upon some lofty rock to stare upon the cloudy canopy, while under its storm-beaten breast cried out the hollows of the sea. Towards break of day, was it the double of my dream, the woman that by me lay, dreamed? Or did we halve a dream under the first cold gleam of day? I thought, there is a waterfall upon Ben Bulben's side, that all my childhood counted dear, were I to travel far and wide. I could not find a thing so dear. My memories had magnified so many times childish delight. I would have touched it like a child, but knew my finger could but have touched cold stone and water. I grew wild, even accusing heaven, because it had set down upon its laws nothing that we love overmuch is ponderable to our touch. I dreamed towards break of day, the cold blown spray in my nostril, and she that beside me lay had watched in bitterest sleep the marvellous stag of Arthur, that lofty white stag leap from mountain steep to steep. Demon and beast. For certain minutes at the least, excuse me, For certain minutes at the least, that crafty demon and that loud beast that plague me day and night ran out of my sight, though I had perned in the gyre between my hatred and desire. I saw my freedom won, and all laugh in the sun. The glittering eyes of a death's head of old Luke Wadding's portrait said, "Welcome," and the almonds all nodded upon the wall, and even Strafford smiled as though it made him happier to know I understood his plan. Now that the loud beast ran, there was no portrait in the gallery, but beckoned to sweet company, for all men's thoughts grew clear, being dear as mine are dear. But soon a teardrop started up, for aimless joy had made me stop beside the little lake to watch a white gull take a bit of bread thrown up into the air, now gyring down and perning there. He splashed where an absurd, portly, green-pated bird shook off the water from his back, being no more demoniac. A stupid, happy creature could rouse my whole nature. Yet I am certain as can be that every natural victory belongs to beast or demon that never yet had freeman. Right mastery of natural things, and that near growing old that brings chilled blood the sweetness brought, yet have no dearer thought than that I may find out a way to make it linger half a day. Oh, what a sweetness strayed, though barren Thebaid, through barren Thebaid, or by the Merotic sea, when that exultant Antony and twice 1,000 more starved upon the shore, and withered to a bag of bones. What had the Caesars but their thrones? The second coming. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart. The centre cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out, when a vast image out of spiritus mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere in sands of the desert, a shape with lion body and the head of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun, is moving its slow thighs, while all about it reel shadows of the indignant desert burns. The darkness drops again, but now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle, and what rough beast its hour came round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born. Bear in mind who wrote this 107 years, what did I say? Not sure when he wrote that actual poem, but roughly 109 years ago. And Israel, the Holy Land, my people, my beloved people, were the first to accept the atrophy of the COVID vaccines and coerce their entire population into that. The first, that rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born. The second genocide visited upon my people that they actively were complicit and complied in. The worst ghastly fucking horror of all. And verily, verily, and I'm saying this out loud, maybe I should suicide. The only way out is through, and then I shall die defiant and true. But like a fool vexed by love, I cleave to the hope of truest love and a life surrounded by good, kind people who see me and honour me and treat me with genuine care and basic, at the very least, respect. And where are we now? Watching my entire world slowly die. But hope springs eternal, does it not? Grandchildren that shall never be born to my daughters. Lovers that shall never love me because they have only ever sought my destruction. And only very rare and precious friends can stand my company now, pristine as I may be. Not so pristine with fucking Viagra in my waters, am I right? Jesus. Well, I thought it might be a lesser evil than Botox. And what legacy will I leave behind me when I go? Only a vague memory of my courage to thrive and to care and to exist in this world that betrayed me from early infancy. Remember that, people of Earth, how long I fought to live amongst you and hold my own, even in turgid, vicious dance spaces, surrounded by people I thought loved me but actually were my enemies. It comes to my mind this morning, the 10th birthday party, and how 2 of my enemies came to lure me away. Go to other venues, they said. Join us. Come out with us. What did I say? I've only been treated like a queen in this club. Why would I want to go anywhere else? No, it was part of their evil plan, and he was part of it, knowing that I knew them, thinking that I would foolishly flaunt off and trust those women after all the viciousness they put me through back in 2013, 14 and 15. Fool he was to think that I would forget and forgive, like a stunted, munted, desiccated, stomped and shucked and fucked atrophy. Mama T forgets nothing. She remembers how I was fated in that club. To you, Brooklyn Standard, I love you still. Owners and management and staff. Who gifted me immensely and allowed me my wild dance and my little spot at the table, knowing what they must have known, that I was being played for a fool. But what is a fool? Only a woman who loves joyously and abundantly and triumphantly, no matter what, no matter who. What else have I got going on with my little life and my little world, with little people, with little heart and little soul? It's a rhetorical question, people of Earth. There will be great joy and triumph in my life again, sooner than you expect. I know, because my two little birdies are coming to me. Their love is immense. A prayer for my daughter. Great, some more fucking triggering about to happen. No accident in the universe that my angel or guide or some fey entity demanded I read this book to you, people of Earth. No accidents in the universe. None. All shall be what is destined to be. True hearts and minds shall come to me and love me accordingly, including in my distraught ways, seeing the world as it truly is, because there's no other option than death, and death too is an illusion. On we go, and on we go, the trickster's blows. Cowards, fakes and fops. Mama T outlives you all, as she has always done since time immemorial. Remember that. Even the shade of David Davidson has to slather around me, doomed till I leave this mortal coil, trapped, as he wanted me to have a true and enduring love at last, so he can set himself free. But he played his trickster game and brought another monster to me, so he can wither in his dimension too, for that sadistic cruelty. Where was I? Reading Yeats. Got to have fun before you die, people there. Babies. I love you all. I even still have a modicum of love for that monster because I realise, can't help it, he's been poisoned. We all have. Compassion and pity are in order. Let go, let God. A prayer for my daughter. Once more the storm is howling, and half hid under this cradle hood and cover lid, my child sleeps on. There is no obstacle but Gregory's wood and one bare hill, whereby the haystack and roof-levelling wind, bred on the Atlantic, can be stayed. And for an hour I have walked and prayed, because of the great gloom that is in my mind. I have walked and prayed for this young child an hour, and heard the sea wind scream upon the tower, and under the arches of the bridge, and scream in the elms above the flooded stream, imagining in excited reverie that the future years had come, dancing to a frenzied drum, out of the murderous innocence of the sea. Yes, I came close to drowning 3 times in my childhood. It is murderous, and yet simultaneously innocent. A portal, people of earth, from which I was brought back many, many times to live out my psychedelic dreaming, trying not to fall apart at the seeming. You understand. May she be granted beauty, and yet not beauty, to make a stranger's eye distraught, or hers before a looking glass, for such, being made beautiful overmuch, consider beauty a sufficient end, lose natural kindness, and maybe the heart revealing intimacy that chooses right, and never find a friend. Helen, being chosen, found life flat and dull, and later had much trouble from a fool, while that great queen that rose out of the spray, being fatherless, could have her way, yet chose a bandy-legged smith for man. It's certain that fine women eat a crazy salad with their meat, whereby the horn of plenty is undone. In courtesy I'd have her chiefly learned. Hearts are not had as a gift, but hearts are earned by those that are not entirely beautiful, yet many that have played the fool, for beauty's very self has charm made wise, and many a poor man that has roved, loved and thought himself beloved, from a glad kindness cannot take his eyes. May she become a flourishing hidden tree, that all her thoughts may like the linnet be, and have no business but dispensing around their magnanimities of sound. Nor but in merriment give a chase, nor but in merriment a quarrel. Oh, may she live like some green laurel, rooted in one dear, perpetual place. My mind, because the minds that I have loved, the sort of beauty that I have approved, prosper but little, has dried up of late, yet knows that to be choked with hate may well be of all evil chances chief. If there's no hatred in a mind, assault and battery of the wind can never tear the linnet from the leaf. Let's think about that again. If there's no hatred in a mind, assault and battery of the wind can never tear the linnet from the leaf. An intellectual hatred is the worst, so let her think opinions are accursed. Have I not seen the loveliest woman born out of the mouth of plenty's horn? Because of her opinionated mind, barter that horn and every good by quiet natures understood for an old bellows full of angry wind. Considering that, all hatred driven hence, the soul recovers radical innocence and learns at last that it is self-delighting, self-appeasing, self-affrighting, and that its own sweet will is heaven's will. She can, though every face should scowl, and every windy quarter howl, or every bellows burst, be happy still. It's a choice, my people of earth, a choice. Choose life, choose joy. Fuck all your enemies and haters, for they are piss-weak and inept, not worth a scrap under your fingernail. Mama T has spoken. And may her bridegroom bring her to a house where all's accustomed, ceremonious, for arrogance and hatred are the wares peddled in the thoroughfares. How but in custom and in ceremony are innocence and beauty born? Ceremony's a name for the rich horn, and custom for the spreading laurel tree. Laurel representing peace, people of earth. June 1919. Shalom, peace. Emmet, truth, and in alignment with all those values, ahava, love. And let us not forget, I don't know how to say that in Hebrew, but let us not forget my most precious value that many have tried to destroy and rape and murder out of me. Freedom. Chofesh. Chofesh. Ahava. Shalom. Freedom, love and peace. And emet. You can't have one without the other, my darlings. People have tried to live half-lives. You can't have one without the other. It encompasses the ideas of liberty, release, and the ability to act independently. The word carries significant weight in Hebrew culture and history, representing liberation and the value of individual autonomy. Pity they forgot that when COVID came along. Idiots. They really were idiotic. Hopefully they know that now. Yes, I'm making enemies more and more each day, but I will have my truth and I will have my way, the only way. Honour, integrity, and, in Spanish, corazón, heart, courage, and basic bloody decency. So, fuck my haters, one and all. You've made yourselves look very small. A meditation in time of war. For one throb of the artery, while on that old grey stone I sat, under the old wind-broken tree, I knew that one is animate, mankind inanimate, fantasy. Amen to that. Inanimate fantasies. Golems, zombies, NPCs, Eloy, Aldous Huxley and George Orwell accurately predicted our current paradigm. Please make fiction fiction again. Too late, too late. The rabbit has gone rogue and is simmering on your plate, motherfuckers. Or in 2020, wasn't it bats and pangolins they blamed for their bioengineered leakage and seepage? Don't mind me, I'm just being poisoned by Viagra in my waters. Have you heard the song, Viagra in my waters? Let's have some comic relief, otherwise I might actually really go insane. I fought for 30 years in therapy to be this together. For bitchin' babes.
Just outside of Johnson City, on a dark and twisting road, in a Kenworth 18-wheeler with a heavy shifting load, He was pushing through to Binghamton, though the hour was getting late. Pfizer's finest on a mission to the pharmacies of state. He was on a holy mission. There were men who couldn't wait for his 30,000 pounds of Viagra. Since he climbed into the roof. Just another 25 or so would finish up that gig. But the trailer hit an oil slick and down the hill it flies. Oh my. Till it landed at the bottom in the town's water supply. It was instant rigor mortis, what a hard way to die. Save yourself, children, daughters, there's Viagra in
The waters. What else is in our waters? Don't even think about that. You'd never get out of bed alive.
rising with the dawn. They drank their morning coffee, took their showers watered long. And who could have predicted all the changes up ahead? Men were getting up for work and heading back to bed. So many called in sick, you would have thought a virus spread. Down at the courthouse coffee shop, they stared in disbelief as a pack of thirsty lawyers started filling out their briefs. But at the local college, young men appeared much smarter. No chromosomal mystery, they simply studied harder. Now water on the rocks is the latest party starter. Save your sons and daughters, there's Viagra
In the water.
Johnson City firemen, they cursed their wretched luck. They could not get their fire hoses wound back on the truck. Sprinkling holy water at a funeral, Father Ryan said, I know it isn't it. I know I've saved their souls, but I never raised the dead. Would a couple strong men help me out and close the casket lid? Old man Weisberg took the shower of his life. Then he marched into the kitchen and he called out to his wife. She knew something was up as he stood naked at the table, holding 2 cups of coffee and a half a dozen bagels. It had been at least a decade since the last time he was able. Save your soul,
The daughters, Viagra. The waters.
He was seeking miracles, the pilgrims came in hold. The waters of Viagra grew more popular than gold. The clergy quoted scripture, but they found it hard to sell. Those who chose to be anointed were pointed straight to hell. Despite the dire warnings, the crowds began to swell. Some hardened politicians came into town one day. With their permits and their pipelines, pumped the waters all away. From the heart of Johnson City rose the mournful cry of men. But the women knew another trip was coming through again. Don't worry, there's a toxic week. We'll spread the oil again. Save your sons and daughters, there's
Viagra.
in the water.
In the waters.
Save your sons and daughters,
It's Viagra. the waters. There you go, people of Earth. A little bit of comic relief. Have to have a little bit of fun before you die. It's been a long time dying, and I only acceded to this because I'm trying to heal my bladder. In all earnestness, trying, so I can have my beautiful life and my beautiful man, wonderful sex life again, passion and romance, and wonder and magic and awe and beauty, and it's all fucking not going to work out as it does. It's not going to work out. But you can't say, my wonderful, worthy doctors cannot say I did not give it a jolly good go. The only thing I'm still resistant about is Botox, because botulism, people. Botulism, but I hate to think what Viagra is actually doing to me, to be honest. It's probably just as bad as botulism. So we're a little bit fucked. So don't mind me when I go on my little, emotional, defiant tirades. Right, I think we've got another lot of poems coming from the Tower. How long is that? I think we'll just leave it there. It's enough intensity today. We've left on a rather jolly note, which is a good thing to leave on. Go out with a laugh, people. Go out with a laugh. So, love to you all, my subscribers who find me eminently fascinating or quirky or entertaining on some level. But I have to exist in this world alongside you all, and it's just getting a little bit weird, people of Earth. That's all I have to say about that. But my angels and my spirit guides and my ancestors that love me and the good folk, they seem to know what they're doing, healing me every day in every way. Maybe not physically, but spiritually and mentally, preparing me for whatever comes next. Hopefully more joy and delight and comfort and ease, and a community and or tribe that loves me, and lots of affection and sweetness. Could happen one day. Come find me, tribe. You know where I am. And let's get this show on the road, shall we? It's long past time we found each other and supported each other to get us through this current paradigm. Blessed be. Bye for now.